catch 'em all.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is part 2 of how to create a full set of as-builts for an existing home. Okay, so there are a couple things that I want to talk about right in the beginning here that I forgot to mention in the last video. The first one is that you're going to want to see if you can get in the crawl space of that house, because in the crawl space you're going to want to know where the main beam is that's going across. That's called a girder. The position of it, how big it is, how many of them there are. Maybe it's like a triple 2x12 or something like that. You got to write all that stuff down. You want to know what the size of the floor joists are. So when you walk into the house in the front, through the front door, you're stepping on a floor, and we need to know what the floor joists are underneath your feet. Okay, so that's from the crawl space. If it's on a slab, obviously you're not going to be able to get under anything, so you could just write down that it's on a slab, and you know the structure. Okay, let's see. If your girder is sitting on a couple like concrete blockwork, or if it's sitting on columns, or if it's a basement or whatever it is, you got to write that down, and you got to find the positions of where those are. So measure off the exterior walls in order to get to those columns, or whatever it is that you're trying to get to, and how wide and how long they are. All right. In the attic, when you go up there, we talked about getting the pitch. Trying to figure out if it's 612, 812, 1012, whatever it is. You also want to know the ceiling joists or the floor joists that are underneath your feet when you're standing in the attic. That's going to help you get the elevation height correct later on, but it's also going to help you when you go to add your addition to the home. You're going to need to know the direction that they're running and how big they are if they're going to be able to structurally hold what you would like to put on top of it. Okay. So if you're looking at my screen here, I kept calling this roof and this roof and the roof back here, I keep calling them dormers, and I don't mean to do that. A dormer is a smaller decorative piece. So let me just show you the difference. Those are called A-frame roofs, but a dormer is more decorative. It's something like this. You have your main roof, and you'll have, here's an even better shot. And these little roofs, they could be decorative, or they could actually be live windows into like a 1.5 attic or whatever. But as far as these roofs go, they're not the main roof, but they'd still be an A-frame type roof. Okay, so just wanted to clear that up from last video. All right. As you can see, I wrote things down here because I didn't want to forget. So when you're measuring the rooms and you do the width and you do the length, you're actually going to want to add an inch to that number, because you're most likely measuring from sheetrock to sheetrock. And you want to know what the thickness of the actual wall is, which is another side note here. You want to walk up to, like a door frame or anything like that, and try to measure the width of the walls. Generally, your interior walls are going to be 3.5 inches thick, but they could be 5.5. If it's 2x6s in the interior of the house, usually that would be a newer house. You're going to want to know what that thickness is. But you're going to want to measure in those rooms and most likely add 1 inch to that number because of the sheetrock. Okay, so that's in all directions. Yeah, the wall thickness, and this is also very important, the ceiling height. We need to know, is it an 8-foot ceiling, is it a 9-foot ceiling? You're going to want to measure that. If you see that there are vaulted ceilings, or there are ceilings that are higher than others, make sure you get those heights, make sure you get the correct direction of it. Make sure you try to get like basically the rafter size above a vaulted ceiling, just so you can see exactly how high up that would go. Okay. All right, so here we go into the video. This is going to be pretty short past this point. What you're going to do, so this house doesn't exist. I had to map this out on my own, and it's not great, but it's okay. All right. So this is really what my rooms are going to look like, and what yours are going to look like. Well, if you're doing your own home, then it's not going to look like this, but and I'm not really giving you the dimensions, so you probably will be doing your own home. But what you want to do is you want to create a box for every room that you measured. Okay. And what you do, let's just say, the office was, you're using a rectangle at 9 feet, 8'7" or something like that. And that's giving you the size, and then you label it, you put a little label in there, and you call that office. Okay, I like to do caps. And then what you do is you go around the exterior perimeter with the wall tool with the numbers that we gave you earlier. So this is going to be 16 feet. Oops, not 16. 16 apostrophe. Now, take note that this justification on this wall, if you've watched my other videos, is off right now. We want to hit shift and get that to be like that, because now I'm coming down. I don't want it to be 16 3.5. I just want it to be 16. Okay. Oh, my wall thickness is width. Hang on one second, guys. There should be a 3.5 inch wall. There we go. Okay, so we're going down here. I'm sorry, we're going over. We're doing 16 feet, and you want it to close that corner. And then this next number was 16 feet. It bumped out by 2 feet. It comes back down 30 feet. It goes across 12 feet. Goes in 4 feet. So you're just mapping out that exterior of all those measurements that you want to do. And after this, you could go into drawing the lines for your decks and all that stuff, which I did in other videos. You can take a look at that. But I like to move to the interior after this. 12 feet. This is going to go 34 feet. And then 22. And these are all like round numbers, obviously, so you're not going to get that in the field, but it's just a general idea. All right. So you got the exterior, right? Now, the next thing would be to take these boxes that you created and the positions of where they are in the house. So let's just pretend that the master bath was in this corner right here. What I would do is I'd move that box and I would put that right there. That's where the master bath's going to be. It's just a rectangle. It's nothing special. We're going to go back over this with the wall tool later on. But then you take something else like the master closet and move that. We want to grab it from where the exterior wall is. And that one's going to go right there. So now you can see where the wall would go between them if your measurements were correct. 3.5 inches. Now, if this is 3 1/4, or if it's 3 3/4, or even 4, or something like that, it's very close. And that just means that you really want to split the difference and kind of take that away from the rooms a little bit. Because the walls, if they're 3.5 inch walls, then they're going to be 3.5 inch walls. Okay? So we got that. Next thing, master bedroom. I know for a fact that I could put this here, but then I want to move that 3.5, and it should be right there. Okay, so once you get all that figured out and you put all the boxes where they need to be, the office was just a made-up number, but that's in here somewhere. What you'll do is you go back over with the wall tool. So what I'm doing is I'm going on my wall, and I'm clicking Add Select, because it's an existing wall. I know it's 8 feet tall. I know it's 3.5 inches wide. You can take one of the other projects and do that if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, and I don't want to make that room smaller by having my justification this way. I want to actually just stick and go around the outside. So you could go like this, you could come down to here, or you could just extend this one if they line up, like so. Don't forget to erase your lines that are behind. So we now have a box back here. If I go on any one of these walls, I can do a shift space, and that's going to get me to, that gets me to the other wall. Shift space gets me to the box. And you can delete that box and leave your label. Okay. Now another wall. Add select. You don't want to make these rooms smaller. You want to make them bigger. I already erased the box, but the line was 3.5 inches off of there. So we go like that. And then we take another wall. Add select. Now this is going to be a center justification. You're going to go down the middle like this. And then again, you're going to get rid of those boxes back there. Put your cursor over top of a wall. Do a shift space. Get the box. Do a shift space. Get the box. Delete. So now we've got these walls mapped out. We don't have the doors and windows done yet, but you're going to go through the whole house and you're going to do that. Okay? I'm not going to show the rest of that. I want you guys to go ahead and do that on your own house. And then at the end, you'll have something like this where you have all the walls figured out. Okay? Then you just take it one room at a time. You know, you try to figure out where the windows are. Let's say in this room, you measured off of this exterior wall. What I like to do is I like to put my cursor there and slide. And then I like to click out here. Draw. Let's say it was 6 feet, you know, to the center of the window. Then you can either use your window tool. And, you know, if you're using that, or even if you're doing an add selected, like I can pick one of my other windows, add select. I would change the size. Let's say you measured it to be 2'7" and 1/2 by 4'6" or something like that. Just making up numbers. it's going to say, you know, insert the point. Where do you want to put this window, basically? And that's going to go right there. Right now it's facing the wrong way. You can see the sill is facing in. So I'm going to flip that this way. And then you're going to move that from the midpoint of the window to the line that we drew. And then you erase the line. Now I drew that line going this way before because I don't have to figure out and do and do a shift space to find where those lines are. I just see them right in the open space and I can erase them. Okay, so you go around and do all your windows. Okay, then you probably measured in the house. Oops, something got messed up over here. You probably measured like, hey, here's a door, and it's a 2'8" door, but how far is it from this corner to where the door starts? Is it 4 inches? Is it 6 inches? Whatever it is. So if that's what you did, right here, again, I'm going to go like this and slide, click. I'm going to go 4 inches and come across. Erase this line. The door was 2'8". Okay, you get that. Now we're going to use a door. Again, I'm going to do an add select because I have my other file right in front of me. Take any door size, add select. I'm going to change the size of this to be 2'8". The head height, whatever you measured that at, was it 7 feet? Was it 6'8"? And you go back over and you slap that on that wall. And then what you do is you move it until it touches. Get rid of your lines. And then use your arrows to figure out which way it swings. Generally, it's not going to swing into the room like this. And it's not going to swing out of the room like that. It's going to be in, and it's going to be against the wall like that. Okay, so I think that's enough for this video because it's a lot of work to go around and do. You got to get all your walls in place. You got to get your windows in place in each room and your doors. I would suggest watching those two parts again in order to get that if you're in the middle of it and you're not quite sure what to do. You will have some measurements that just don't seem like they add up right. So if you can, go back and measure and see what went wrong. Or, you know, like I said, if it's off by a hair, it's probably fine. If it's off by a little bit more than a hair, maybe split the difference. But you don't want to make mistakes. You want to be as accurate as possible, generally to the closest 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching. That's number 2 in this playlist. And don't forget about the tips that I gave you in the beginning. That's going to help you with the video before this. And also the fact that I kept calling those things dormers, and they're not. They're just A-frame roofs. Dormers are really the more decorative look that goes on top of your main roof. Okay, so that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, thank you. Gotta catch 'em all.